Well, what are we waiting for? Lights, camera, Retro Man!
G'day viewers, Retro Man here and welcome to the 80s Show. Now just recently guys, I checked out the trailer for The Bike Riders starring Austin Butler, Jodie Comer and Tom Hardy, and I must say that I was impressed by what I saw, and it got me thinking about all of those great biker movies of the past. I mean, some of those had an intensity, guys, that will knock your socks off, which leads me to say, guys, that I've always been a sucker for a cool biker film, and I think this Bike Riders trailer really offers a lot. So guys, I guess the question remains, will Austin Butler's The Bike Riders rank up there with some of the great biker films of the past? And I tell you what, the pedigree that is on display in this trailer really kind of points in that direction. So guys, I'm sure we will find out soon enough. Now, as I said, guys, I have an affection for biker films, and there's been plenty of good ones over the years. I mean, it dates right back to the 1950s and that classic The Wild One starring Marlon Brando. I mean, that film still looks great today. It was shot in black and white. It co-stars Lee Marvin, and Brando's portrayal of a biker in that is just spot on. I think that film still has a statement to make, and at the time that film was really cutting edge, and guys, it still is a fascinating watch today. And guys, in 1966, about 13 years after The Wild One shocked audiences, Peter Fonda, Nancy Sinatra and Bruce Dern got together for a little film called The Wild Angels. Now, this was a cheap independent production, but it really had all the grit and splash of a biker film, and this film really had the youth audience of the day on the edge of their seats. And if you move forward in time a little bit, of course, we got that breakout film Easy Rider in the late 60s that really turned heads, and Dennis Hopper, Peter Fonda and those fantastic bikes. That film had a rebellious spirit and an adventurous edge to it. And of course, guys, after the success of Easy Rider, a slew of biker films followed, one of which, guys, that really captured the attention of audiences was CC and Company in 1970. That film starred American football star Joe Namath and Anne Margaret, who was always entertaining to watch. So guys, that's a cult biker film that you should definitely check out. There is a lot to say about that one. It has a lot going on. And guys, I'm also a fan of Willem Dafoe's 1981 film The Loveless. That was his film debut, directed by Catherine Bigelow. And guys, The Loveless, have you seen that? If you haven't, definitely check out The Loveless. I've done some extensive episodes on The Loveless on this channel, so if you're curious about an early biker film featuring Willem Dafoe, definitely check out my back catalogue of episodes on The Loveless, because that's a film that I was really entertained by as well. So as the years went on, guys, biker films really never went away. I mean, by the 1990s, there were some great ones there. I mean, Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson got together for the 1991 film Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I mean, that flashy title itself just makes you want to check it out. That film had a lot of grit and a lot of humour and some great bikes on display. And also, guys, there was this one called Stone Cold. Do you remember that? That featured a guy by the name of Brian Bosworth. He was a football star. He had a wild mullet in that film. And guys, Lance Hendrickson, who you probably know from Aliens, played an interesting villain in that one. Man, Stone Cold, what a biker flick that was. That had a lot of action. And of course, Charlie Sheen got involved in a biker film called Beyond the Law in 1993. That is also known as Fixing the Shadow, and that has some really interesting moments in it when it comes to biker anarchy. So guys, the 90s offered a lot, And by the 2000s, guys, biker films for a little while there kind of took on a different guise. There was a big comedy release called Wild Hogs. It turned out to be a blockbuster, and it starred John Travolta, Tim Allen, William H. Macy, and Martin Lawrence. And that film still makes me chuckle today. I think it's just a great film in John Travolta's catalogue. And guys, in 2008, there was a biker film that is hard to really call a great biker film, but it was splashy. It was very exploitative, and there was lots of violence on display. And it was called Hell Ride, and that film was courtesy of a guy called Larry Bishop. It was written and directed by him. Larry Bishop, of course, was Joey Bishop's son. Joey Bishop was a member of the Rat Pack back in the 60s, and that film was stamped with a Quentin Tarantino Presents. Tarantino was one of the many producers on the film, and it's kind of hard to call this one a great biker film, but guys, biker films kind of end up in exploitation territory, and if you're a fan of exploitation cinema, Hell Ride really offers something, and it's one of those films that offers a lot of leather, a lot of bikes, and a lot of exploitation sequences. But guys, this leads me now to the bike riders again, and I mean, this is really pushing into the 2020s now, and it is a throwback to biker films of the 60s. It's actually based on a true story, and with actors like Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy on the cast list, I mean, this one really has my pulse racing. So guys, the Bike Riders looks a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out when it hits cinemas in December of this year. So when it comes to biker films, guys, I like to check those out, and I have a bit of an appreciation for them. They always have this rebel spirit, this intensity. I like to see the leather on display. I like to see those cool looking bikes, and I like the freedom of just traveling down a highway and the edginess that comes with it. Biker films usually have an unpredictability to them, and by the looks of things, this Bike Riders trailer has that kind of flavour. So I think this is a film that has something to offer, and it really is now on my must-see list. So guys, it was a lot of fun talking about some of the great biker films of the past, and if you're interested in finding out a little more on the Bike Riders, I have a trailer reaction video now playing on this channel, and also I did a little video where I talk about the music that was used in the Bike Rider trailer that came courtesy of the Rolling Stones. So guys, if you want to find out a little bit more about the music used on the trailer, please check out that video also. But guys, the Bike Riders has me humming, and man, I really can't wait for this one. So it was an absolute pleasure reflecting on those biker films of the past, and you will see me again very soon. But until then, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. And guys, keep watching the 80s show, because I have a lot more coming your way. This is Retro Man, living the dream, 80s style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang and just as slick a bike rider as Austin Butler. Please subscribe, and good night, viewers.